suffering in this world.
はい、ごきげんよう、レイブです。ヴァンパイア続きやっていきたいと思います。ということで、昨日やってて、なんか、この2人を見つけろって話だったね、メインクエスト。じゃあメインクエストどんどん進めていきましょうか。どっちだ？こっちか。ちょっとこの辺治安が悪くて危険なのでね、ちょっとウィッチャーセンスちょこちょこ使っていきながらいきますよ。未だにちょっと丸でさやってしまう。2人いるなあ。はい、ダメでした。強いのいるな。なんかヤバそうじゃないこれ。なんかかけられたけど。やっぱレベル近い敵は余裕で倒せるね。オッケーオッケー。あれ？なんかいろいろあるな。ちょっと近いのこっちかな。エリア内でクレイトンを見つける。
You are blinded by your false faith, imprisoned by your...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming.
また新しいキャラ出てきた。
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
本当になんか宗教系の人来たな。
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
ヴァンパイアのこと言ってるのかな。
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
ほ
う。Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved
だいぶこ
useful.
のゲームの選択肢慣れてきたぞ。
Burn the clothes, the buildings,
基
the
本喧嘩しない
corpses.
方がいいよね。
Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous.
え、
You're
なんか
nothing
喧嘩
but
売
a
った。
soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
ずいぶん言うね。
If you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
ジョセフってなんか変な人がいるんだ。
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart.
He is my son が She is my son に聞こえた。やべえな。
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no
Samuel.
evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grow
やばいんじゃない？
night
死んでんじゃない
after
の？
night.
新しいミッション。
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
あ、そうなんだ。
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country.
レジスタンス。へ
That's
え。
what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
ドロシーさんの新しい情報を手に
So
入れ
you're
まし
not
た。
exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
修道女じゃないといけないとか言ってんだこの
I have
人。
heard enough for
ずい
tonight.
ぶん信仰心熱いというか硬いというか。まあこの辺で会話聞きながらこいつ嫌いだから血吸おうとかっつって殺していいわけだわ。まあ今回は殺さない主義でちょっと頑張ってやっていきますけど。ていうか間違えた。ここ範囲内なんだよね。いるはずなんだよね。あ、なんかいるわ。そいつかな。
Don't be shy,
全然違うじゃん。クリスティーナ
What。can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my
そうなん
mouth.
すか。
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
あらららら。この人あれか。娼婦か。
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
なんかずいぶん大きい髪飾りじゃなくて耳飾りつけてん
You
な
can
と思っ
put
たら
your
そういう
own
ことな
life
の
in
ね。
danger. That's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
金さえもらえればいいってことね。
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war,
随分なん
exile,
か
and
深い話
England.
急にするよね
This
このジョナ
country
サ
is
ンね
not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
ほ
Many people must deal with poverty, but not all choose to sell their bodies. That was your decision.
And when exactly was the last time you looked for a job? Or worried about the rent, or what, or when you were going to eat?
う結構なんか今喧嘩売る感じの選択肢になっちゃったな
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea
あ本名
Krashenescu.
出たドロ
She
シア・
came
クラシ
from
ュ
Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
ほ
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
うさてどこにいるんじゃ目的の人間はジョー・ピーターソンハリー・ピーターソン疲労ハリー・ピーターソン疲労してるからさ
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure. Sure.
Thank you
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
ハリー治療してあげるよ
So,
確かね競
May
争剤
I
あった
ask
から
you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
あ催眠とかもできんだね
Do you need any medical help, young man?
Yes, I do. I feel so tired. I don't know if it's the epidemic, but everything seems so hard.
はい
You'll feel better with this. But you need to get a grip, young man. Medication alone won't
うつ
cure
病なんだ彼
melancholia.
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long in a world like this. But I thank you for your concern, sir.
いやーかわいいハリ
Goodbye, young man. Take care of yourself.
ーでこれでさ多分その町の人の結構ここ疲れてる人いっぱいいんねあー疲労の人めっちゃいるな彼女も疲労してんだ片頭痛疲労アルバート・パーマーで今彼を回復したんでしょ気管支炎はあ、はあはあはあ、今私何の薬持ってんだっけ薬風邪敗血あ気管支炎の薬あんじゃんってことはあ
So,
間
may
違
I
えた
ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
ごめん君じゃねえんだ
Goodbye, young man.
ハリーじゃなくてダリウス・ペトレスクこの人どこにいたっけ
Take care of yourself.
ダリウスって人ねオッケーカメラ
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
ダリウスまあ見つけたら行くかっていうかクレイトンどこあこれかこの人かなんかさっきいなかったよね
Excuse me, sir.
Ah,
Are you
いた。
familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
なるほどね
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever.
勇気あるね
Do
こ
you
の人。
think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly
ああ、な
diseases.
るほどね。
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
そっか、まだ女性に参政権がない頃の話なのか。
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a
Bareteru.
doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never
あ、
goes
ダリウ
out.
スってそい
Doesn't
つ
seem to
か
have。any friends or family.
あーはーはーは
He
has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named
ー。
Richard
あー、出た、
Nivercott.
詩人。この人も探せって言ってたね。
Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nivercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
サンキュー。
He never goes out.
No, a few days ago he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
はあはあはあ。なんかその手紙も何か意味ありそうだけど
Goodbye,
ね。
Mr. Darby. Farewell.
オッケー。じゃあその詩人とやらを。あ、やっぱり郵便ポストと手紙を見つけるって出たね。とりあえず詩人探すか。お、誰かいる。
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
喋らな
I
い。
know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
喋れないんじゃないのこの人。
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? You don't seem to need my medical attention for now.
全然喋ってくれないね。
Very well. Goodbye then.
喋れないのか喋らないのかどっちなんだろうこの人。あ、見っけた。手紙。私の大切な最も愛する子供は何ヶ月も音沙汰がなくてごめんよ。ロンドンの状況は相変わらず厳しい。わがままで愚かしく聞こえることは分かっている。お前たちは未だに戦火に焼かれる国にいるのにな。だがこの戦争でだがここイギリスでも戦争起きている。貧困と不公平との戦いで私はもう年だがそれでも この戦争で戦うつもりだ。それが今日私がお前たちに手紙を書いた理由だよ。私はルーマニアには戻らないだろう。それは死ぬ前にお前たちに会うことは叶わないという意味ではある。悲しまないでおくれ。お前たちはもう大人だ。そして自分たちの子供だっている。世界をより良い場所にするためには時に犠牲も必要だとお前たちは知っているね。これは私がもう一度、まだ人の役に立てると思えるように今払わねばならないものだ。お前たちが末永く幸せであるように。孫たちに私の分のキスを送っておくれ。そしてお前たちの父はこの冷たいジメジメとした国でいつでもお前たちを愛していることを忘れないでおくれ。ダリウスさんいい人じゃん。たださ、そのお手紙結局破り捨てちゃったんでしょ。インフルエンザの隔離施設と。お、花束。無料健康診断のクーポンが花の間に隠された小さな花束。はあはあ。あれ？なんかカメリアのヒント入手したぞ。
Hello again, miss. Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying.
間違えた。
Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Goodbye then.
見るってだけなんだね。あ、ここにもある。はあはあはあ。
I cannot enter.
あっちに行くにはどうすりゃいいんだ。この中なんだね、やっぱ。入れないし。どっから入るねん。教会の裏っつってたな。裏側に回ればいいのか、どっかから。暗くて分かりづらいねん。こっちから行けんのかな。ここも入れないよね。あ、ここ行ける。うわ、スカルいるし。はい。もう一匹いるやん。ほい。回復。はい。オッケー。だいぶ戦闘慣れてきたぞ。もう完全にこのさ、チラシとかこの街の状況って今のさ、現代とそっくりだよね。 マスクしてとか、家から出ないでとか、人の前で咳しないのとかね。もうまんまそのまんまだよね。もう歴史は繰り返すって感じだよね。どこだ？あ、声聞こえる。あ、いるね、そこに。あ、結構イケメンじゃん。詩人さん。
Good evening, sir.
あ、そうでもなかった。
I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes
喋り方嫌いじゃないな。
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
意外と礼儀正しい。
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
ほ
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear doctor.
う。え、何？なんでそんなこと確信してんの？
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful
まあその気持ちはわからなくもないよね。
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
ここに住んでるってありえねえ
I'm
だ
just
ろ。
enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
なるほどね。まあこういう人ほどかかんないからね。
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
はあ。
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you
言
say
い
so.
方が詩
Such
人。
vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The
急に歌うように
strict
喋り始めた。
humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
ジョナサン気が合いそうじゃんこの人。
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful
あ、カメ
Camellia.
リア
What
ミ
can
ュー
you
ズな
tell
の
me？ about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
出たね。
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives, how she survives, whom she may know.
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
ああ、よくあるよね。恋人のこと知っちゃえば知っちゃうほど冷めるってやつ。
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
すごい詩的ですね。詩人さん恋してるじゃん。ああ、これ言っちゃっていいのかな。
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir.
喜んだわ。
It only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
救いようのないわな。
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
ずいぶん好きだ
I
ね。
fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged.
あ、分かっ
Dr.
てんだ。いいキャラしてんな。こいつ好きかも。
Do you need medical attention, sir?
It may be wise to let you prescribe me something. I don't feel like I should.
これ何？まあいいや。渡せんなら渡すわ。
I understand your appetite for words and macabre beauty, sir. But you should be more careful.
The nutrition of my mind is more
風邪ひいて
important
た
than
んだ。
my physical health. But I appreciate your concern, sir.
あれこれ聞いたっけ？
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you if I can.
いいじゃん、協力的じゃん。
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But sorry, no, never heard of her.
ドロシーのこと知らないんだ。
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
結局聞き合わなかったんだ、ダリウスとは。サンキュー、だいぶ教えてもらったわ。
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
そうね、ダリウスと会っちゃうとなんかありそうだから、とりあえずちょっと隠れ家行こうか。そろそろレベル上げしてもいいでしょう。あ、でもちょっと待って、いろいろとサブクエ出てたよね。競争剤めっちゃいるじゃん。ホワイトチャペルの箱を取り戻す。あー、サミュエルね。ポチでしょ。とりあえずここ行ってみる。62。地図見ないとやっぱいけねえな。こっちか。もうちょっと経験値貯めてから寝よう。寝ちゃうとね、状況悪化するのでね、このゲーム。できるだけ、できることからやっていかないと。多少レベル高くても倒せるって分かったしね。敵いそう。あ、いるね。大きな獣。あいつどうすんや。あ、バレたわ。普通にバレたわ。いや、ガードができない。ブラッと効かないから、あんま効かないよねこれ。あ、やっぱり。おっと、そういうのあり。ずるいずるいずるい。 オッケー。シガレットケース。血だらけ。スカルもいるね。おっと、強い獣いるな。はははは。あ、箱ここだよね。どっから奥入るんだ？ここじゃない。あ、登るんだ。あそこの獣はほっといて。中古のハチェット。下にいるな。いや、箱とかどこにあんねん。これ上から攻撃とかできなかったっけ？いや、無理っていうかいっぱいいるし。体力がやばい。強いわ。やばいやばいやばい。人数多いの無理。オッケー。とりあえずこの強いの倒そう。おい。おいしょっと。おいしょおいしょおいしょ。はい、オッケー。やっぱこのスタンできる武器強いね。箱どこ？この辺のはずなんだけどな。あのレベル12の獣倒さないとダメな感じ？あれでもいけないな。あ、こっちからいけんのか。入るね。オッケー。暗い暗い暗い暗い暗い。おいしょ。強い強い。あ、やばい、死ぬかも。あ、死んだ。死んだー。はっは。いや、スタミナがやっぱちょっとえぐい。いや、倒したやつ全部リスポーンしちゃった。なんかそういうシステムだった気がするんだよね、このゲーム。いや、この死んだ時のロード長くて嫌になっちゃうよね。なんかいろいろこのゲームの そう言葉が出てこないよ。評価というかさ、いろいろ見てみたんだけど、やっぱストーリーとしては悪くないけど、いろいろ復活してんねこれ。戦闘システムがクソみたいなのはね結構書いてあった。こっからっすか。もう一人どこ。いや体力がいやこれがさやばいんだって。いやマジでね、いややばいやばいやばい、死ぬ。いや無理よ。速攻死んだ。マジでねこのねスタミナシステムが本当にガチでちょっと気合い入れて戦闘しないとすぐスタミナ切れて、いや勝てなくなるんすわ。スタミナ切れると何もできなくなるからね。ほんとこの戦闘システム確かにクソだと思う。結局やることスタンして吸って倒してだもんね。いやいやいやいやいやいやいやいや、ちょっとね次のベッドまでセーブできないからそこまで進めちゃおうと思ってたんだけど、結構なんかいろいろサブクエやってると、てかいい感じだったのに箱ほんとどこ行ったのよ。めんどくさいから。でもやっぱこの辺なんだよね。血がない状態から始まっちゃうのがね結構きつい。あの人がね、いや耐性あるしな。とりあえずこの人倒して逃げる。いや本当にこれがやばい。これが死んだし逃げらんないんか。いやでかいのまず倒す。やっぱ煙えぐいよね。体力の減り方おかしいんだけど。なんなんあれ。血がないと対応できないわあれ。本当に回復が間に合わん。ていうかオートファジーがさ意外と全然回復してくれないんだよね。いやロード長い。もうリスポーンすんならさっさとリスポーンしてよって感じだよね。いやこれが結構ストレスだガチで。いやはよはよ。さっき普通に勝てたのにな。ちょっとスルーしよう。スルー。いやいやいやスルースルースルースルー。いやいやいやいやいやお前か。ちょっとこれやばいって。お前まで来たらやばいって。でもあいつと戦ってくれる。いやちょっとこなしゃす怪物さんいいね。ちょっとあそこと戦ってください。いいね倒してくれた。いいよいいよ戦え戦え。煙嫌だ。いいねいいね。 やれやれ。ちょっと私じゃなくてそっちと戦って。オッケーオッケーオッケーオッケー。いいよいいよ。やれやれやれ。いいぞいいぞよ。やれやれやれ。いいぞいいぞ。やれやれやれ。オッケー。あとあんただけね。はい、血をいただきます。なんかパワーアップしてなかった今血吸って。君は回復薬ということで。はい、ありがとう。いや、全部倒してくれて助かったよ。こういうこともできんだね。なるほどね。あとあっちにいる一匹をしっかり倒して、あ、ここら辺取ったアイテムは取ったことになってんだ。うんうん。まあ、ここの獣をねしっかり倒して冷静に。あれしたやん。もうちょっと血が欲しいけど。いった。よいしょ。やばい。あ、やばい。危ねえ。気を抜くと本当に負ける。やばいやばい。うっそ。危ない危ない危ない危ない。マジで危ない。ちゃんと回復して。やばいって。オッケー。倒しちゃおう。オッケーオッケーオッケー。あー、マジで危険危険。いや、どこにあるんだ箱。一匹強いのがいる。ちょっと体力。おいしょっと。おっと。いや、ちょっと待てやお前ら。ちょっと落ち着こう。おいしょっと。 おい。よし、これでこの辺の敵は全部倒したかな。オッケー。っていうか箱どこよマジで。いや、この辺りなんだけどな。いや、マジでランタンとか明るいものが欲しいね。光が。本当にここなんだけど。あ、上あんじゃん。ここか。
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside.
キーアイテム？どこだ？あ、これか。伝えにくいことだから、単刀直入に書くは、私たちこんな風に続けてはいけない。少なくとも私にはできない。もしジョーが私たちについて妻と親友の関係を知ってしまったら、彼はきっと壊れてしまう。そしてきっとあなたを殺すわ。私たち一緒に素敵なひとときを過ごしたけれど、きちんと向き合いましょう。私はあなたのジェーン・ルイスにはならない。あなたにも、そして私も分かっていることよ。だから今ここで終わりにします。もし私の決心に賛ししてくれるなら、きっとまたそのうちあなたとジョーと私で幸せになれると思う。そうすれば私たちの一番大切な物語を美しいまま残すことができる。その日が来るまで私を許してくれることを願っています。ジェーン・ピーターソン。
A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
ああ、これどっちかに渡すことによって話変わってくるやつや。良き友だった。はあはあ。あー、ちゃ。あー、ジョーの恐喝。あー、恐喝受けてんのはこっちなのか、バレット。あー、そっか。これバレットが終わるね、これ。ジョーに渡すと。どっち助けてやるかな。でもジョーに、これはジョーに渡す方がいいかな。どうなんだろう。迷うな。そしてすでに迷子。あー、ジョーに会ったね、先に。ジョーに渡しちゃうか。先に会ったのジョーだしね。
You again? What do you want this time?
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
あ、
Why
ハリー
did
の
you
パパ
make
か。
him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the
いい
choices
パ
I
パ
make
や
and
ん、この
pushes me
人。
buttons more
やっ
than
ぱ
he
この人
should.
に渡すべきだよね。
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
ジェーンって死んでんの？
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
いやマジでこの不倫相手やばいんじゃないの渡しちゃうと。まあ渡しちゃうか。
I think the documents in this box could be of some interest to you.
Really? Where'd you get it?
I found it in an abandoned building nearby. I thought you might want to keep these letters.
Let me see. Letters about my boy. Thank you, sir.
You do not appear surprised or pained by this.
Surprised about what? Harry's my son, I'm his father, and that's all there is to know, don't you think?
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Here's a little something for your trouble. And to remind you to keep your mouth shut about all this.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
ミッションに成功。一応成功したことになったんだ。
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
これはバレットに渡した方が良かったのかな。ちょっとわかんねえわ。はい。じゃあここ行きますか。結構遠い？あ、遠いね。遠いのでこっち行きます。っていうか隠れ家行きます。あ、間違えた。ここハリーの家や。
Good evening, Harry. May I come in?
Sure.
まあいいや、ちょっと会話してみよう。
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
あ、出た。
Do you remember when Barrett Lewis was close to your family? To your mother?
Not really. I was too young. But I remember it was a happier time. Mr. Lewis was funny.
これルイスに渡した方が良かったんじゃない？マジで。
Why are you sad then?
Because it hurts to remember a time when my father used to laugh and smile. It hurts to realize he's as sad as me now.
How was he towards you?
He was nice, I guess. He never forgot my birthday. He always offered me books. I liked books.
いやー、これマジでちょっと間違えたかもな。
Take care of yourself.
まあいいや。
Even my dreams.
隠れ家の生き方。ここの隠れ家分かりづらいんだよね。ちょ。
It's locked, all right.
こっから入れないんだよな。どっから入ったっけさっき。あ、箱。ここだっけ？隠れ家にすぐ行けないってどういうことって思うけどね。さっきの扉アンロックできんのかな、内側からなら。 いやもう暗くてね、ここ。あ、ここか。いや、ちゃうやん。こっちか。あれ出ちゃった。またロードですか。いやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいやいや。なんでこんなさ、隠れ家に入るのにこんないちいちロードしなきゃいけないのって思わない？ちょっとロードしてる最中にトイレ行ってくるわ。はい。マジでロードしてる最中に。あ、これで開くようになったんだね、やっぱ。ちょっとね、強素材とか作って。いや、このロード待ち時間すげえあんじゃない？このゲーム。ゲームやってる時間の半分ぐらいロード待ちしてる気がしてきちゃうよね。さて。強素材クラフト。4つぐらい作っといて、風邪薬。武器のアップグレードできんのかな？定額でしか売れないってやつを売っちゃおう。よく使うこの武器ね。ダメージ強化、スタン増加。レベル3にできないね。とりあえずこれやっとく。ダメージアップ。オッケー。で、あとよく使うのはこれか。スタミナ消費はやってる。オッケー。あ、ここいけるな。ブラッド吸収量。オッケー。めっちゃライン組んだけど。あとはまだね、セーブしなくていいかな。墓地のサミュエル連れ戻すやって。 ていうかあれだな、メインクエスト進めよう。オッケー。じゃあメインクエスト行きますか。通れない、通れない。彼についでに話しかけてみる。
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
亡くなってから変になっちゃったんだね。
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
ああ、ウェットブットボーイズなんだ。
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
あらららら。
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
ああ、なるほどね。取引しようって出た。
Right then. Show me what you have.
ああ、その取引か。なんか足んなかったんだよな。まあいいや。ていうか疲労してなかったこの辺の人。あ、大丈夫か、健康やん。いや。ここだね。オッケー。
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again? Go away.
催眠レベル2が必要。
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man, you and I?
All right. Speak up.
Don't you see we're on the same side? We fight to help the poor, sick, and abandoned.
I'm nothing like you, Mr. Doctor.
Yes, you are. You too believe in providing medical care without charge. You know what we have to sacrifice to make the world a better place.
I have to admit your words have conviction. All right, I'll let you see Dorothea.
いや、入れたわ。
Don't make me regret this, though.
普通に入れたわ。 人の家をすぐ越えて物色するっていうね。
If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the courtyard and take the stairs.
We've not been formally introduced. May I ask your name and occupation, sir?
I am Darius Petrescu. I'm here to keep snitches and spies away from Dorothea. And I also run this little print shop.
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area, Dorothea is from occupied Romania. That's all you need to know.
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine. The West End does not want to hear of Whitechapel's misery. Dorothea is one of the few doing something about it.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute florist.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but I'm almost convinced Camellia is an angel. She volunteered to give out our medical leaflets.
Are you not worried for her safety?
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Ah, そういうことね。
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Do you have any family left, Mr. Petrescu? Children or grandchildren?
Who knows? I have abandoned my people for so long, they might as well be dead. As dead as I am for them, I suppose.
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and I forgave him.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families like this, but thank you, Dr. Reed. I appreciate your trust.
This war won't last forever. Did you ever think of returning to your country now it's free?
No. I have taught strength and determination to my sons and daughters. I'm an old, dying man who only has memories of better times to cherish.
なるほどね。
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius. Tell me more about it.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I won't see my homeland again. But I fought for Romania all my life, and I will until my last breath.
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It's a free country again.
It is not the country I fought for. My homeland is not appeased, Doctor. And I still see a dark future ahead for my people.
まだ解放されて
How
ないっ
did
て
you
ことな
meet
んだ。
Nurse Crane, Darius? Why does she trust you?
I'm her oldest friend in England. Dorothea and I share many ideas about this country and about the country we left.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you? Even if not directly, I fought against your enemies.
Really? Then perhaps you have more in common with Dorothea than meets the eye, Dr. Reed.
確かに元兵士だもんね。
Goodbye, Mr. Petrescu.
Thank you. すぐ引っかかるん。あれ出ちゃった。あれ中庭。あ、いいんだ。中庭。これ中庭か。お、ドアを解除。よし。入れるようにしたぞ。 はあはあはあ、なるほどね。よし、これで移動が楽になった。二人とも同じ格好で苦しんでるけど、なんか音が。上かな。なんか嫌な予感するぞ。手伝って。
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
これ選択肢で変わるのかな。
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. Yes. Yes. I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, Doctor. I have needle and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
死んじゃう死んじゃう。ああ、もう迷う。
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor.
死んだ？死んだか。
We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have... But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Yeah, 外科手術いちいち命がけじゃん、ジョナサン。マジか。
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me? I've stolen and plied, blackmailed and lied, but what else am I to do? I'm all these people have.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty, nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
これしか選べないの?
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Ah, 殺せるなるほどね。ああ、催眠でもいけるんだ。辞職はちょっと困るから。
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
インタビューウィズ・ヴァンパイアトロフィーがめちゃくちゃツボ。やば。はい。インタビューしたのこっちだけどね。いや、大好きなんですよ、インタビューウィズ・ヴァンパイア映画。私の吸血鬼好き、あそこから始まってるっつっても決まりだからな。ドロシー催眠しちゃったけど。あ、なんかエプロン大変なことになってるけど大丈夫。なんかトロフィーゲットしたけどね。レディア・シュベリーに報告。まあメインクエストとりあえず完了ってことかな。なにうわ、ふざけんなよ。よいしょ。 なんで攻め込まれてんのここ。あー、患者がみんな死んじゃったかなこれ。なんかめっちゃいるんだけど、スパイみたいなのが。スパイじゃねえや。患者みんな死んじゃった感じか。うん、血の跡が見えないもんね。ああ。いや、このゲーム全然先が読めないね。そして自分の選択肢が本当にいろいろなことを左右してしまう。なんでこんないるんだよ。困ったなこれ。なんか来いや。一人ずつ倒してやるよ。こっち来いや。あれ死んでない。吸血中にダメージが入んないのはありがたいね。おいしょ。おい、もう一発。はい、オッケー。やっぱ冷静にやればなんとかなるね。で、スタミナ管理だけきちんとすれば。はあはあ。とりあえず病院に戻ろうか。寄り道してもいいんだけど、あっちに。おっと、こんにちは。いった。まあ1対1ならもう余裕ですよ。あー、めっちゃいるわ。もう一発で死ぬかな。おい、オッケー。おい、ロックオン大事だね。燃えてる燃えてる。
It's locked.
はは。こっち側まだ一度も来てない感じするな。キープアウト。あ、はい、こっち側行けませんでした。夜間外出禁止令。本 当にまさに今の日本だわな。こっちじゃない、もうちょい先。ここってなんだっけ。ああ、さっきの家か。
When science fails you,
ロレッタは別に疲れてない。こっち？違う。こっちだね。
its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough pool.
ホワイトチャペルの脇を抜けて、また口論してるよあの二人。あ、疲労してんじゃん。競争剤あげるよあなた。
Good evening, Doctor. Can I help you?
Do you need assistance?
That would be nice of you, Doctor. Who knows what I may have caught you in my investigation?
If you persist in investigating the most pox-ridden boroughs of London, you must accept the risks.
Thank you, sir.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
なんか登れた。でもなんもなかった。チャペルを沿っていく。あ、カメリア。ちょっと話してみようかね。
Hello again, Miss. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
いや、本当に何も喋んないな、この人。
You don't seem to need my medical attention for now. Very well. Goodbye then.
彼女と話す意味とは。あれ、ここ行けんの？あ、行けるわ。弓道初めて来た。ちょっと待って、強いな。やめよう。帰ろう。普通に強いわ。帰りまーす。あれ、あ。
Something going on in this district. I don't know what. Like a secret.
いや、このゲームまた移動がめんどくさいよね。ファストトラベルがないっていうのもなかなかに面倒で、ダッシュもないし。このまままっすぐ戻ればいいのか。 OK。
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
なんだと？調べるとかできない。あれ、声する。え、なになになになになになになに。え、ちょっと待って待って待って、これやばいやばいやばいやばい。突然何マジ。逃げらんねえじゃん。倒さなきゃダメ。強いわ。あれ、フリーズフリーズフリーズフリーズ。まさかのフリーズですけど、なんかフリーズのバグもあるとは書いてあったけど、マジか。 いやちょっと待ってよ。ちょっと待ってよ。ちょっと待ってよ。どうしようかなこれ。何のボタンも反応しませんな。どうしよう。ちょっと一旦ゲームを落としますね。